Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Utopia Onomat deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because this deck is an extremely consistent deck that we just got some amazing support for out of Duelist Advance. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Go 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 Goblinberg. This card is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card instantly gets you 2 level 4 monsters on your side of the field. With the ability that when this card is normal summon, you can actually special summon a non-warrior Go 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 monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Then, if this card's in attack position, change it to defense position, which is a great ability to instantly get our copy of Go 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 Gigas to our side of the field. This card also has the ability, if this card is detached, to activate an XZ monster's effect, you can actually add a Do monster from your deck to your hand. We then play 3 copies of Do Warrior. Do Warrior is what you're usually searching off your copy of Goblinberg, and this card is actually insane, as you can send a Do monster from your deck to the graveyard to special summon this card in the hand, and its level becomes 4. Also, its attack becomes 1800. And if this card is detached from an XZ monster to activate its effect, you get to add a Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Gagaga Gambara Knight. Gambara Knight is really good as a 2-of in the build, and this card has a great effect as you can actually reveal a Gagaga monster in your extract to special summon this card from your hand, then activate one of these effects, which you're usually using the ability to special summon a Gagaga monster from your hand. And if this card is detached from an XZ monster to activate its effect, you get to add a Go 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 monster from your deck to your hand. We then play a single copy of Zubaba Knight. Zubaba Knight is great as a 1-of in the build, but I feel like 1 copy is really all you need. As if this card is normal or special summon, you can activate one of these effects to be able to add a Zubaba monster from your deck to your hand, accept another copy of this card, and this card's level becomes that added monster's level. Or destroy a level 4 lower defense monster that your opponent controls. And if this card is detached from an XZ monster to activate its effect, you get to add a Gagaga monster from your deck to your hand. We then play 2 copies of Gagaga Coat. Gagaga Coat is really good as a 2-of in the build, and I absolutely love this card. This card is ability to control a Zubaba or a Gagaga monster while this card's in the hand. You can special summon this card, and this card you actually usually search off the copy of the Zubaba Knight. This card also has the ability that you can actually, once you special summon this card, you can target a Go 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 or Do monster in the graveyard and special summon it, which is a great effect to help you swarm the board. We then play a single copy of Do Dwarf. This card is great as a 1-of in the build and helps out so much in the deck, because during your main phase you can actually special summon a Zubaba or a Gagaga monster from your hand. And if you control a Go 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 or Do monster except a copy of this card while this card's in the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and this card is great to be able to work with our copy of our Do Warrior. We then play a single copy of Go 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 Gigas. This card is awesome to be able to work with our copy of our Goblinberg, because this card has a great ability while this card's in the graveyard. If you special summon a Go 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 monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card in the graveyard in face-up defense position, which is a pretty cool effect. And then a single copy of Astraltopia. Astraltopia is crazy powerful because this card can search so many different cards in the deck. As if an XZ monster is on the field, you can just special summon this card from your hand, and also send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard to add an XZ, Automat, or Zexal, or even a number spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to instantly grab the exact card that you need. We then play a single copy of Utopia Onomat. This card is so cool to be able to play in the deck because this card is always treated as a Zubaba, Gagaga, Go Go Go, and Do card. And during the main phase, you can special summon up to 1 each of a Zubaba, Gagaga, Go Go Go, and or Do monster from the hand in defense position, which is a great ability just to help you swarm the board just in case you need to. We then play a single copy of Ascendant Sage. This card is really powerful as a 1 in the deck, because if you control no cards, you can special summon this card in the hand, and a Utopia XZ monster that was summoned using this card gains the ability. And if this card is XZ summon, you get a rank up magic normal spell from your deck to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to use to instantly grab your copy of Hyper Rank Up Magic Force Utopia Force. We then play a single copy of ZW Pegasus Twin Saber. Twin Saber is really good to go with our copy of our Leo arms, and this card is just really good to be able to use in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is great as a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll is really good in this build to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck for the rest of the turn. We then play 3 copies of Fluros. Fluros is great to help us dig into the deck for the exact card that we need. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda's great as a 1-0 in the build to grab the exact monster that we need. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great as a 1-0 in the build to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps where you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is really good in this build to basically just stop your opponent's hand traps, just like your copy of Called by the Grave. We then play a single copy of Double or Nothing. Double or Nothing is crazy powerful to work with your copy of Utopia Double, so you can summon out the exact XZ monster that you need. But you have to play this card as a 1-of in the build so you can actually resolve the effect of Utopia Double. You can also go in for game with your copy of Utopia Double, because if your opponent has a monster on the field with 2,000 attack points and it's in attack position, you can summon out Utopia Double, then summon out your copy of Utopia, searching out this card from your deck to your hand, then attack, negate the attack with your copy of Utopia, attack again once you drop Double or Nothing, and go in for 10,000 attack points, swinging in for game into one of your opponent's monsters, which is so cool. We may have seen a copy of Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopia Force. Utopia Force is just really good as a 1-of in the build, and this card actually lets us target a rank 9 or lower Utopia XZ monster we control, and special summon a rank 10 or higher Utopia or Utopic XZ monster from the extract by using that XZ monster you control as a material, which is a pretty cool ability just to rank up your monster into the exact card that you need. We then play 2 copies of Onomat Pickup. Pickup is really good as a 2-of in the build because when this card is activated, you get to add an Onomat card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, and you can also target a Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogo, or Dodo monster you control, and all monsters you currently control become that monster's level until the end of this turn, and this card leaves the field. We then play 3 copies of Onomat Para. Para is really good as a 3-of in the build, and definitely a 3-of in the deck. This card is ability you can only activate 1 of this card per turn, and you send a card from your hand to the graveyard to add up to 2 of these cards from your deck to your hand, either a Zubaba, Gaga, Go-Go, or a Dodo monster, basically searching anything that you need out of the deck, which is actually insane. This card is so cool, and it's basically a pendulum call for the deck. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Unbreakable XZ Barrier. This card is actually insane, and it's so cool that we have a counter trap for this deck. This card has the ability when a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated while you control an XZ monster, negate the activation, then you can detach 2 materials from a monster that you control and destroy a card on the field. You can also banish this card in the graveyard and then target an XZ monster you control and attach a light Utopia or Utopic XZ monster from the graveyard to it, which is a great ability to be able to use just to get you an additional material, but it's so cool this deck actually has an Infernity Barrier. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So, that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start with a single copy of number F0 Utopic Future Zexal. This card is so cool as a boss monster. I absolutely love this card's artwork. It has the ability, this card takes 2 XZ monsters with the same rank, and this card's original rank is always treated as 1, even though this card technically doesn't have a rank. This card also has the ability that gains attack and defense equal to the combined ranks of all XZ monsters that you control and in your opponent's graveyard times 500, making this card absolutely massive. Also, your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except for this one. Also, your opponents cannot target other cards on the field with card effects, and once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect on the field, quick effect, you can detach a material in this card, take control of one monster that your opponent controls, which is a crazy powerful effect to be able to use. And this card is such a really cool one-up in the deck, and so easy to make. We made a single copy of the original Utopia. Utopia is definitely a one-up in the build and just an awesome combo piece in this deck. We made a single copy of Utopia Double. Utopia Double is great as a one-up in the build because this card has the ability, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card to add a double or nothing from your deck to your hand, then special summon from your extract a Utopia XZ monster, except another copy of this card, using this card you control as a material, which is a pretty cool effect to be able to do to summon out anything that you need. And then let's see a copy of S39 Utopia Prime. This card basically just gives your copy of Utopia an additional material by making this card on top of it, so you can step into another XZ play, which is so cool to get additional materials under your copy of different monsters. Then let's see a copy of the Gaga Magician XZ. This card is great because this card has the ability you can detach an XZ material from this card to be able to target an XZ monster in the graveyard and special summon him, making it super easy to make your copy of your F-Zero because it just gets you an additional monster back on your side of the field. We made a single copy of the Gaga Girl XZ. This card is so cool as a one-up in the deck. Instead, this card has a Zubaba, Gaga, Go-Go, or a Dododo card as a material. You can detach a material from this card to add a Gaga Onomat XZ card from your deck to your hand. And you only use the effect of this card once per turn. Also, a Utopic Future XZ monster has this card as a material, gains the ability if this card is XZ summoned. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn, which is a pretty cool effect to help you go in for game. We made a single copy of Utopic Sage. This card is really good as a one-up in the build, as you can detach two materials from this card to special summon a ZW or a ZS monster from your deck, which is a great effect to instantly get your copy of Sage to your side of the field, which is pretty cool. This card also has a really cool effect that if a Utopia or Utopic XZ monster you control whose original attribute is light would be destroyed by battle by card effect, except to copy this card, you can banish this card from the field to the grave instead. And then a single copy of Alan Bersham. Alan Bersham is great to basically search anything that you need in the deck, which is so cool to be able to do. And this card is definitely a one-up in the build. And then a single copy of Leo Utopia Ray. Leo Utopia Ray works with our copy of our Twin Saber, which is really good to be able to basically use this card with that. And it's just such a cool card to be able to summon in this deck. And then a single copy of Dragonar. Dragonar is great as a one-up in the build because this card has the ability at once per turn, quick effect, you can actually detach two materials in this card to special summon from your extract one number monster that has a number or between a 1 and 100 in its name, and this is treated as an XZ summon. And the turn you activate this effect, other monsters you control cannot attack directly. Also, you cannot special summon the extract except for XZ monsters. Also, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can actually change the attack to the opponent's monster to 0. You only use each effect this card once per turn. And some of the targets we actually summon using this card is our copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, which is a monster negate, or a copy of number 38, which is actually a spell negate. And then a single copy of number F-Zero Utopic Future. This card is great to be able to make in the deck, so we can basically step into our copy of Utopic Draco Future, which is awesome to be able to summon because this card is actually a walking negate and extremely difficult for your opponent to deal with. We then finally play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is great in this deck to basically use this card as a board wipe, and it's great to be able to make in this XZ deck. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is so fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played a Utopia Onomat deck, you should definitely give this deck a try. And it's so cool that we got so many cool retrains of Yuma's cards, and it's just so cool to actually see. Zexo is such a cool anime, and it's awesome to see some retrains from it. So, that's it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can come for our notifications. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.